Welcome back to talknorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network. You can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is The Flow on Talk North. My name again is Alex Zappa, alongside Ricky Palermo. We have alongside with us a great guest. He covers the Wild for The Athletic as well as a couple of other teams for The Athletic. He's a contributor to Fox Sports North, as well as some stuff with NHL Network as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Russo, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So how we typically start the show, Rick, you give us the rundown of what we're talking about. So even though we're at the wonderful Punchable Social, hey, let's stick to the booklet. So what do we got going on today?
Episode 21, and it's fitting how episode 21 is live at a bar, right? This is our first live show.
Cheers,
when
cheers.
you turn 21, you get to go to the bars, right? Exactly. We turned 21 today.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
We're here with Mike Russo. We're going to start off with millennial Probz.
As always.
If you didn't know, Russo's not a millennial.
Yeah, Alex already called me a baby boomer, which freaking
That's not
pissed
it.
me off.
It's Gen X, right? You're
Yeah.
Gen X.
I don't know what I am, but I can tell you I'm not a baby boomer.
Hey.
I don't know, like, when you're 24, what you think a baby boomer is, but I'm barely in my
the description.
40s.
We got a pump on earlier. Did you get a fitness
swole at the gym
cycle in
today?
or no?
No, I did go for a walk and it hurt.
Okay.
Gen X Probz. Okay, so we'll talk millennial Probz. We're going to have Greg on, the general manager from the Punch Bowl, shortly, but we're here with Russo. We're going to pick his brain a little bit. Then we're going over the NFC North, because we know the fans in the audience care about the NFC North. We've been going through all the divisions in the NFL this season. What a time to do the North. We'll finish with one thought, but right now, it's millennial Probz, Alex.
And so I'll start. Millennial Probz is the same we've been doing for a while. Hashtag Millennial Probz. And that we're young guys, we're in our mid-20s, and we have circumstances that appear that other generations have not had to deal with. We have social media. There's these crazy dating apps nowadays.
You can't leave home without your phone.
The cell phone has revolutionized life as we know it. So mine, Mike, you'll appreciate this. So we had a nice little boys' weekend last weekend, playing a little golf tournament. And I saw a lady from across the way at the casino, right? So we connect eyes, we lock eyes. We're engaging. And my boy Taylor's back there. He's the commissioner of the golf tournament.
Taylor says that's not
and
how
he's
it
an
happened.
eyewitness to this story as well. So
And he says it didn't happen like that.
So Mike, I'm playing some game with my eyes, and I actually get her to come over somehow, some way. And I wheel and deal. I do my job. I give her my phone. She gives me my phone number, but she says, "I'm not giving you my last name." And this is a millennial problem, because back in the day, I mean, you just say your name, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, whatever. But nowadays,
You creep on her.
Exactly.
it's
Social
all bets
media.
are off. You can go, you
that
check
the right
out the
term? Did I
Facebook, the
use the-
Instagram. No, you're right. So
Or stalk. Stalk would be a synonym for creep. Yeah.
and so, but the bigger overtone of this is that it is like they almost assume that we're bad guys, that we're not in for the, what I'm
Because
saying?
you just don't know anymore.
It's not
So
good.
Anytime you put your name out there, anything is possible. So I understand her not doing that, but is she not a good gal for doing that now?
She didn't trust me from the get-go, and that's kind of a red flag for me. Did you ever have a girl not give you a last name?
No.
Okay.
But I do think that this is like a great future Saturday Night Live skit.
Isn't it?
Yeah, the two young, in shape guys that are in the dating
Oh, well,
scene,
thank
and
you,
then the
Michael.
balding fat guy that's part of the show.
That
think
doesn't
that's
fit this description.
Yeah. This is actually a good potential
Skit.
plot for
Yeah.
some sort of maybe show. I don't know.
It all, I can report that it all worked out in the end. Everything was fine, but a minor lapse.
Has she given you her last name yet?
No.
Have you texted her since?
We touched base. My opener the next day was,
here we
I'll
go.
tell you mine if you tell me yours. And she just laughed. She didn't actually tell me. So,
not getting
no,
it.
I don't think I'll ever see her again. And she kind of wanted it that way.
Probably
so,
wouldn't text her back.
it happens.
Yeah. She's dust in the wind now.
Hashtag millennial problems. That's mine. Rick, what is yours? And we have Mike's baby boomer problem coming up as
Baby
well.
boomer.
Gen X. Gen X. All right, so mine also happened. It came up during this
gosh.
weekend. So we're driving to the golf tournament. Literally left. We woke up at about 8 o'clock. left the house around 10 to get to this tournament. It's a 2-hour drive. Go to pick up our buddy Baker, if you ever heard of him. On the way to get him, we get rear-ended by a semi.
Well, because Steve's a moron, and he tried to plug in your phone charger, and he pulled the parking brake.
Emergency park brake came
Unbelievable.
out. And
he was an athlete for a reason.
I just said, Steve, plug this into the cigarette lighter. He tried to do that, but instead hit the parking brake. That came on, rear-ended, boom. Semis can't stop. They
Not
had
a
no
good
chance.
guy.
Anyway, I was, when we were dealing with the cops and the insurance and everything, I'm thinking, boy, I've seen some social media posts on Facebook that are like, my life was saved today. I got in an accident. I'm thinking, boy, this would be a funny thing to put up as a joke, right? I got rear-ended. I could put this on Facebook. And I was thinking, Facebook's the place where you put big life events on, right? So my millennial problem this week is big life events that you share on Facebook. And what's the dynamic for doing that? You get a new job.
Yep.
You got to put it on Facebook.
Yeah. You just had your 1-year anniversary.
1-year anniversary
right?
from quitting a job.
And how was
That's
the
what
turnout?
I'm celebrating now. The turnout was better than the 1-year anniversary of the new job. I mean, that's what like all of a sudden, like just looking at my Facebook today, it's like not good.
Not a good moment.
Not a good response.
It is true. There is this boundary. There's this. I mean, I think starting a new job, cool. Declaring
going to college,
a major in college, I'd say that's a gray area. I'm not even sure I need to know about that because there's so much information out now.
But when these big life moments happen, you tell them to the people that you care about.
You make it dramatic. You can make it bigger than it is. Yeah.
Trying to be dramatic. But when you do these things, are you thinking, I could get a lot of likes on this? That's why I'm posting
Sometimes you do it for the wrong reasons.
I don't know. And Facebook, all right, so Russo, this question goes to you. Are you on Facebook?
I am.
Facebook's dying among the millennials, all right? So all the Gen Xers, they're the ones that are on Facebook now. But Facebook seems to be the place where you put these big life events on for people like.
So do you see people your age and
older?
And older, do they abuse the social media? What's the social media landscape for people in your realm? Because we know ours, but I'm curious about yours.
Well, no, I mean, we've sort of infiltrated yours. That's what we've done.
This is true.
Next thing, Snapchat won't be fun for you. I just want you to know that I just Googled baby boomers. And this, I mean, I am like legitimately insulted here.
Well,
do you know the ages for what a baby boomer is?
No, I'd love it if you would enlighten me. That'd be spectacular.
Typically, researchers typically use birth years starting from the early to mid 1940s and ending anywhere from 1960 to 64. So my question to you,
you're a very mature looking man.
Yeah, Alex, is how old do you think I am?
No. You're 29 years old. You're just so long. You're a millennial, just like us.
We call you Uncle Mike.
Yeah,
you're Uncle Mike. So Uncle Mike could be a baby boomer in our minds, but in my mind, I'm still like 15.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us.
That's ours. Mike, do you have an older person problem that you would like to declare?
Well, I think it's the fact that young people just think that I'm older than shit. How about that? Sorry, Brandon.
That's a good problem to have.
I don't know. It's just a different world now. Like, I can't imagine growing up now. Like, I was just in Atlanta with my young, nephews, and they're sitting there and, putting on shows on the computer and playing around with my phone and taking selfies, and I'm like, I cannot even imagine growing up today. Like when I was younger, this stuff did not exist, and now it's like, and I guess the biggest the new thing is is Bumble and Tinder and all those things.
It used to
be texting and driving. Now everybody's doing that and driving.
Yeah,
Bumble and driving.
I asked a buddy of mine that is a millennial today what his millennial problems would be, and he said it's when his girlfriend yells at him for liking other pictures of girls.
Nice.
On
we
Instagram.
talked about that before.
We gotta...
what's the dynamic for liking other girls' profile pics?
Well, we've talked about this.
While you have a girlfriend.
So Mike, let me get your this was ours about 3 weeks ago. I said, if you're homeboys with a guy and then you kind of adopt his girlfriend for the time being, right? And maybe she's good looking, whatever. Maybe you'd be interested, but she's taken, whatever.
And
it's all good.
You're friends on social media. But
then they break up and you follow both of them. You have kind of three options. One, you stay in the game. You like all of her pictures because that's your duty as a friend. You do it. That's one. Two, you stay friends, but you take off of the likes because you can't be putting the full court press on the ex-girlfriend. That's not a good idea for anybody.
That's a bad guy move. You don't want to be a bad guy.
Do you unfollow them? And so it's really this dilemma where there's all these rules and these guidelines, these waters that we have to walk that we just didn't have to before. So I don't know. It's tough.
I think the biggest, as a sports writer, when I was younger, and I started covering the NHL many, many years ago when you guys were born, by the way.
When do you think we were born?
I don't know. Well, he told me you're 24, and this is going to be my 24th year covering the NHL.
94.
But
that's no coincidence. Just let's put that.
So when I started covering the NHL, like I related to all these guys because they were all my age, and now it is like now I feel like the old guy in the locker room. I got no idea what these guys are talking about, the way they're talking. So that would be a problem. And then the other thing, I joked about it before, but it's true, is like another Generation X problem. It's like there comes a point when you turn 40 that everything starts to hurt. Getting out of bed hurts.
This is what I was talking about.
Going for like a walk hurts.
Your 90-minute walks.
Getting out of the car freaking hurts.
What?
Yeah.
So I have that to look forward to.
Yeah. Maybe not for you guys.
Is that in your 30s, or does this happen 40 on? Are 30s still okay?
Yeah, we got some Uncle Mike questions.
No, everything pretty much hurted. I was hurting at 32, I think.
Okay.
So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Millennial Problems. It's one of our favorite segments. Hope you enjoyed. Now, we'll talk some serious before. We want to ask Uncle Mike, because you're old enough to probably be our uncle, and so...
Yeah,
but not Grandpa Mike.
We got to change the Uncle Mike. It just sounds creepy.
We want to get...
Mike?
Your real uncle is here.
I know, Uncle
I thought
John.
there was just somebody
Uncle
wearing
John.
a Zappa
He's wearing the
shirt
Zappa
like
jersey.
that. I thought that he was just like a big fan of yours.
that my
but it
fan
turns out
club?
your uncle.
Well, Frank Zappa had toured for a while, yeah. Had to get Frank Zappa on the show.
But you've made an incredible career out of writing stories and telling people's tales and being someone who's covered a lot of teams in a really dynamic way. So, first and foremost, what is your favorite story you've ever done in your prolific career as a journalist?
I wish you warned me. I could name you 1,000. I don't know. I mean, I've written so many. That's another thing that when you get to the age, you can't remember things. Like I used to be able to go into every arena in the NHL and tell you like 15, 20 articles that I wrote from that arena.
Okay.
Or every hotel in this country and tell you stories that I wrote there. Now it's like everything's just cloudy. The story I wrote on Bruce Boudreau's kid the other day was really a cool one of my favorites. Was Brady Boudreau, Bruce's son, who's 20 years old, is already going to get his master's.
Good for him.
Graduated high school at age 16. He got his degree from college, his bachelor's at 18.
So he got some motivational speeches from Bruce.
Yeah, but he's got Asperger's. And so he's just a fascinating guy. He's almost a savant when you talk to him. He plays goalie for the local junior team here in Coon Rapids, the Minnesota Blue Ox. And so that was an awesome, really fun story to write, to really, all the issues that he deals with and how he's thrived past what a lot of people could use as an excuse. And how this guy's going to make it way bigger than most of us. So that was a cool story. But, I've written so many. I wrote a story. One of my first stories when I joined The Athletic last year was on this kid named Alex Frecon, who's right here from Edina. He just wrote a little ditty about Minnesota called I'm from Minnesota that you can find on YouTube. It's really funny. But he went to play hockey in North Korea.
Wow.
And I was fascinated by that, about all the stories,
North Korea.
North Korea. None of us can even imagine what it would be like to go there. And he spent,
probably didn't see
there.
Eric Thames there.
So, another really fun one, and I'll say it because she's become big again.
Okay.
I did a story. Val Bure, when I covered him in Florida, he's married to Candace Cameron. Candace Bure.
Sure. Yeah.
So Kirk Cameron's sister. So Candace Bure has now had basically a reinvigorated career where she's on The View and. She has a Fuller House, but she was DJ on Full House, and so I did this story.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was over my head, and I was just pretending. But now I'm in. Yeah.
So now, back in the day, she was a little kid on Full House. She met Val Bure, married him, and they were living in Florida, and they had 3 kids down there. And so I did a story on, and the headline was Full House, actually.
Nice.
And so that was a real fun story, just kind of hanging out with them. Those are my most fun profiles, is when I actually get to hang around with these, guys and do like behind the scenes stories. I'm working on a bunch now, leading into training camp, which starts September 13th. So that's my favorite part of the job, is not covering the games. It's writing the personality profiles.
Very cool.
Another part of the job, you just know the NHL inside and out. You get to know the fan bases. One fan base we have here right now is the Wisconsin fan base. Mm-hmm. They don't have an NHL team, so they're stuck right in the middle. Who are they going to root for? Because if they root for the Blackhawks, they're just bandwagons like the rest of the Blackhawk fans, right? But if they root for the Wild, well, they have all this contention against Minnesota sports teams. So you, in your position, covering the NHL, who should Wisconsin root for?
Well, they got the Milwaukee Admirals, so they can root for Nashville, which is their
there you go. Another bandwagon
NHL
program,
team.
Yeah.
That's an elite take. The fans aren't about it.
I would go Minnesota. I mean, they got enough. You got Ryan Suter, so if you're a University of Wisconsin fan, you got Suter playing there.
We got a Badger in the house,
So I would go. I look at Wisconsin.